he's now 3 frames adrift at 7:10, frame 18.
Foul and a miss.
Well,
Ken Doherty 4.
Jimmy trying to swerve the cue ball a little to catch the edge of the reds and swerved it about 6 inches. Miscalled.
Back.
So referee John Williams has to replace the cue ball. Jimmy can clearly hit a red to the left side, but he's trying to catch the edge of the pack to the right. So I think he's just leaving the cue ball up this end now. Had that shot on before, of course, but it's a negative type shot to an extent if you've got a chance of getting the cue ball away. And one would never accuse Jimmy White of being negative. I think Jimmy can get through to the red just to the right of the pack. Great shot. Lots of control. And he's got an angle to go into the reds.
Well, Jimmy, a little unfortunate there, but didn't really go into them as he normally does. A little tentative.
Jimmy White 8.
Oh, now will Jimmy be tempted with the red to the right middle? Doesn't have to take it on. He can get his cue into the air, as you see, and get the cue ball back again to the cushion. Well, he could have done, but that was a very poor shot from Jimmy. And I'm sure Ken will take a red on now.
Yeah, certainly not the easiest position. Could take the red on to right centre, but no guaranteed position off it. Yes, and I think Kane quite rightly playing a good safety shot. And getting it tight on the back cushion there is going to cause Jimmy problems. Can't now screw the white back. So just rolling up to the 3 reds behind the pink. And that's the important thing in this sort of a tactical battle, getting that white tight against his back cushion. This could go on for some time yet, but of course each time it's getting more and more difficult for Jimmy. And now there's a big problem. Ken's put that red over the centre, so Jimmy can't roll up to those 3 reds near the pink. Decided the easy shot is a pot into the centre. What an important one this is.
1.
That's a great pot. And that's how you should play them, 100% on the pot. Now from being in trouble, you got a chance of making a sizable break.
Rumble. 5. 6. 11. 12. 17. 18.
Yes, and noticeable, Ray, that what you said earlier, how Jimmy is taking much more time over his shots. Earlier in the tournament, he tended to get rushing round the table.
23.
Suddenly looking very composed indeed.
24.
Yes, well, even earlier in this match, John, his first session was kind of played at this measured pace. Positive, but just giving a little thought when he was in trouble. And then he seemed to lose it a bit. But his opponent did come back playing very well.
26.
So there would be a little bit of anxiety in Jimmy.
27.
Very tough battler. And Jimmy can't afford to relax.
29. 30. 37.
Yes, and things beginning to look
38.
rather ominous for Ken. 2 reds tight against that ball cushion, but Jimmy doesn't need those. Already 49 points in front.
45. 46. 53. 54.
So the blue will be enough.
$59.
Well, obviously none of the
Jimmy
reds
White,
would pot.
59.
So he's 63 points in front. Looks as if he's done enough to increase his lead.
Yes, he had. It was 11-7, and then about 10 minutes later it was 12-7. Jimmy took the frame 67-0. It meant that Ken Doherty had potted only 2 balls in the first 3 frames here today in this final session. When it mattered, he had a little clear-up at the end of the first when it was already won. But, importantly for him, he came back in the next. He won it 78-23. So as they went for their interval, Jimmy White on 12, Ken Doherty on 8, Jimmy needing 1 more, possible 5 to play to get into the semi-finals. And they're back from their interval. There's Jimmy, looking happy. And saying it was his wife's birthday today. It's Jimmy's birthday on May the 2nd. And that, of course, is Monday, when the final here will be decided. The trophy and the big check would be nice, wouldn't it? Anyway, more importantly now, it's 12-8. He needs 1. John Spencer and Ray Edmonds will tell us all about it.
Certainly will, David. And Jimmy White, would you believe he's only wanting 1 frame. He's played very well. And I'm told he was practicing in the interval with his father keeping a watchful eye. So he's very serious about being there
Foul
on Monday.
and a miss. Jimmy White, 5.
And that's not the kind of start for Ken.
Back.
Yes, they're all, as ever, after the missed call, being very friendly about it.
Wait a minute. You could see that
And
red there.
John explaining that he'd stood behind. Ken knows that he can hit the edge of the red he aimed at.
Okay. All right.
Now everybody's happy.
Yes, I think this is one of the beauties of the game. Both players finally agree with the referee on a position. And after that, there's no arguing. Well, that shot from Jimmy left Ken a chance. This red near the right-hand cushion, and I think he's got to play it and run through for the black.
One. Eight. 9. 14. 15.
Well, Ken Doherty has been 5 frames behind Jimmy at one stage in this match and fought back.
22.
He's got a big fight now, though, and this red, if he takes it on, the cue ball's going to move a few others around.
23.
Oh, and that's a good shot.
$30.
Again, not quite high enough on the red. We'll be taking this on into the left-hand black pocket, but not as easy to hold for position. He's played that well.
31. 36. 37.
'Kenny is showing his fighting spirit. Should be nicely on the black after this red, and
40.
there's another red there at the back of the pack, which would be available into right-hand corner pocket.
41.
And you see the list of breaks there, and a lot of those 30 plus were 40 plus in effect, so there were pretty high scoring from Ken, but
48.
his partner has scored so much heavier.
49.
Well, Ken again just gripping the cue a little bit tight. Took the pace out of the cue ball. Obviously tension in his arm. He's 44 in front, but I don't think he should be looking at anything too technical now, John.
No, I think he just be running round the angles, taking the white round near the green pocket there. Well, it appears he can get through to the brown, so connecting,
Green ball.
trying to get the snooker behind the brown.
Ken Doherty, 49.
Well, too thin a contact there on the red from Jimmy. Giving Ken another chance.
1.
Ken certainly not giving in this match without a fight. No, it wasn't the best of shots from Ken. Was trying to
8.
kiss into that red just above and to the right of the black, which would have left a simple red into right-hand corner pocket. Now a much more difficult shot into the opposite corner. Can make this a shot to nothing, taking the white back to the ball cushion, and would be on the green in the centre if he gets it.
Ken Doherty, 8.
Well, a little unlucky to bring the red down with the cue ball. He's 52 points in front, very near the point where he'd secured the frame, but Jimmy with a very difficult chance.
One. Four. 5.
Obviously the red just to the rear of the pink
12.
will go.
Jimmy White,
Well, I
12.
thought it would. Maybe Jimmy just made a miscalculation, but he's 40 behind. He's still in with a chance. Plenty of points to spare on the table, and he's covered the red to the right corner.
One.
Well, good opening red from Jimmy, but certainly got an awful lot to do here with the 3 reds near the side cushion. Well, that was rather unfortunate.
6.
And the gap behind the red. And that's a clever shot
Jimmy
from
White,
Jimmy.
6.
Not just playing the safety shot, but bringing 2 of the reds out into potable positions.
Well, as you see, he can hit the red, but I don't think he can pot it. Not with any confidence anyway, but he'll certainly want to move it. Wicket red from Jimmy. Next shot could be so important. And I think Jimmy knew that. The frame you want
Jimmy
to
White,
win the
one.
match is always a little more difficult to win than the rest.
Yes, and for the first time this session, Jimmy showing the signs of nerves.
One.
So Ken, looking at the scoreboard, 34 points in front, so just the pink required.
Seven. Ken Doherty, 7.
So there we are, 40 points, the difference. 35 on the table. Jimmy wanting a couple of snookers.
One.
Well, Jimmy had to pot the black to have any
Jimmy White,
chance.
1.
He
Frame, Ken
concedes.
Doherty.
And Ken Doherty still in the match. 3 behind. 12-9. And Ken Doherty last night in the previous session of this match was way behind, and he played negatively, and suddenly he became very positive after the interval, and it really showed. And he's done much the same thing today, John. He's come out not having a lot of chances in the first half, to be fair, but he looks more positive now.
Well, that's right. Of course, when you're 12-7 down, the pressure tends to go off you. It's desperation, you have nothing to lose. And it's whether the pressure comes on, back on Ken as he gets closer to Jimmy.
Well, he's proved his toughness already against Alan McManus. He's got to prove it again here against Jimmy.
And again, another miss from Jimmy, certainly knocking them in before the interval. So very important for Ken to punish Jimmy for them misses.
One. Yes, sir. 8.
And this is the stage of the match where both players have to try and keep a cool head. Ken Doherty. Good luck.
Nine. 16. 17. 22. 23.
'So Ken's sticking to his task and looking pretty strong now. Unfortunately for him, the pink won't spot, so it goes at the back of the cluster of reds.
$29.
He's going to have to get on the colour, either the black or the blue, with an angle to get into the pack of reds. And that looks
30.
perfect. So needs that little bit of luck now. Yes, and Ray, what a fascinating game this snooker is. All Jimmy before the interval, and suddenly change right round.
Yes, but I think, as you said earlier, John, the pressure tends to kind of float around at this type of time of the match, and the pressure is all on Jimmy at the moment to win that one frame to get into the semi-final. Ken thought he was virtually out when he left Jimmy
36.
a chance. Had a lease of life, and now probably feeling as relaxed as he has done all day.
$43. 44. 51. 52.
Hasn't got to open the reds. There is a red that'll go still to the right corner.
$57. 58.
'Yes, and still red available into the right corner, deep screw on the white. Didn't quite get past that red.
63.
So looks like end of break.
And that's another fascination, John. How many times when the player just wants one ball and one shot to virtually clinch the frame, it goes awry. And Ken, just wanting a red, now has just given Jimmy a glimmer of hope.
Ken Doherty, 63.
Yes, and this is the sort of position when you're 63 in front, you might see one of those ball colours or one of the reds
Ball and a miss.
near the side cushion.
Jimmy White, 4.
And could it be a free ball?
Free ball.
Now Jimmy has the option of making Ken play again,
Green.
electing to take the green, which will count as an extra red. And suddenly, Jimmy's back in with a chance.
1. Wrong ball.
Well, that's not the best of shots for Jimmy. Was playing for the red to the right of the table there, but still has the one just above the black spot.
Six.
And Jimmy willing the white on there, just about got an angle on the blue.
Again under hit by Jimmy. And all the time, you're putting more pressure on the next pot.
$12.
And Jimmy will be aware that this is the frame that he so badly wants. Hard to put it out of your mind at this time.
Yes, can't get close to the next red, so just dropping the blue in.
17.
And this, of course, is when the pressure really comes on. When you know you have a frame, a match-winning opportunity.
18.
And that was a great shot from Jimmy. This pink is going to open up the path for the three reds in the left-hand corner pocket. And suddenly, Ray, from looking to losing the frame,
24.
this stage you've got to be thinking Jimmy may be favourite.
$25.
Yes, if it wasn't the frame that he so badly wants, you'd make him long odds on to clear up from here.
$32.
There you see the degree of consistency that Jimmy has had throughout this match, break after break after break. Hasn't made 100, but he made a lovely 90.
That, of
33.
course, was what Jimmy was doing all the stirring about. No problem at all potting the red, but has pushed the other red against the side cushion. Could be the most important shot of the match for Jimmy. He can drop this in. Nice angle on the black.
Jimmy White, 38.
So Ken,
One.
I'm sure, thought he was out of this championship. Gets a reprieve.
8.
So now Jimmy White has to
10.
sit down just for a moment or two while Ken finishes this, but dominating his mind will be the fact that the chance to win
13.
this match has just gone astray.
$17.
And
22.
Jimmy, of course, knows his opportunities to make errors are diminishing quickly.
28
So Ken Doherty keeping in touch. He's 12 frames to 10 behind.
Wow, fascinating live snooker here on day 12 of the Embassy World Championship. Doherty doing so well to come back there. Jimmy's stuck on that 12. What do you feel, John?
Well, as they keep saying, I mean, the man who needs the frame feels the pressure on him, and Ken, at the moment, I suppose at 12-7 thought he was out, and he's just clawing his way back in. Jimmy's played a red there at the end of the frame. I can only believe, if it had been 12 each, I can't believe he'd have gone for it. Because I think he had a safety shot on. But he feels as though he's got a cushion, and that encourages him to play shots like that.
Yeah, incidentally, there was also quite a bit of noise coming from behind the curtain. That's from the other match between Davis and Watanabe, which we shall be seeing in this programme. That you could have waited for a little bit and done something about it.
Yeah, but when the old adrenaline's pumping through, and it would be, because Jimmy knows if he gets that red, he's a chance of clearing up to win the match. And that's one of the unique things about the Crucible Theatre, of course.
I mean, Doherty, it certainly shows he's got the nerves and he can withstand the pressure. I mean, he came through that one against Animate Menace, and my goodness, that was a pressure match.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, he played his best snooker at the end of that match. Alan McManus got back to 10 each. It looked as though Alan was going to be favourite, and then Ken came out and did what he did in that frame and the frame before. Got in and scored heavily, which he hadn't done in the early part of the match, and which he hasn't done in the early part of this match.
And you say at 12-10, I mean, it's got to get to Jimmy, hasn't he? He must think there's some hoodoo in this place for him.
Yeah. Well, he's such a strong player, you know. I admire Jimmy's game immensely, you know. He's such a strong player. And you've still got to think he's favourite, but if Ken wins this next one, then there will be a few, you know, little twitches about.
That's right. Just remind you, you're watching it live here, and just if you've just come in, the other news of the day, as Jimmy's just back in his chair, potentially, sitting there waiting for Ken to come back. Stephen Hendry has beaten Nigel Bond 13-8 and into the semi-finals. We'll play either Davis or Watanabe, news of that coming up later. And John Parrott's clawed back to 8-all against Darren Morgan. They play to a finish tonight. But right now in the Crucible, what a match. Jimmy still on the 12. Ken Doherty pulling back to the 10.
So Jimmy White makes a good break off in this frame. So important at this particular time not to leave Ken an easy shot. Ken can get through to this red.
the other aspect of the game, both players showing good safety shots. Jimmy will be having a cut at this. It's a great pot. Don't think it's going to get him many points, but we're leaving Ken in an awkward position.
Jimmy White, 1.
Well, he didn't get many points, but that pot has given Jimmy the initiative. It's up to Ken now. The ball's in his court. How does he get the cue ball safe? I should think that'll do, or has he left Jimmy a shot to the right corner? I think perhaps he has.
Yes, it looks as though he's been a little unfortunate. Jimmy just looking to see if the pink will go into the left-hand corner pocket. Obviously it won't. Doesn't look too happy there.
Blue ball.
Well, he's played that well. Ready to
6.
right-hand corner pocket now. Quite a bit of work to do here to get a break together.
7.
And now, I think we might see him go into the bunch of reds. Although there's a red above the black.
$12.
Well, as you see, the pink does go if Jimmy can get out, but more important, there is a red there. And although there may be a red to the other corner, well, as you see, can he get onto the pink?
13.
I think he can.
$19. 20.
And again, judged to perfection. Just the right angle on the blue. Looks like he's played for the red directly above the black.
25.
Yes, and Jimmy looking, I think if the pink will go, he has an angle on this red to stun up between the pink and those two reds to go down for the blue. But if he finishes short, he would have the pink in the corner.
26. 32.
And Jimmy just
33.
noticeably taking an extra bit of care. And so important at this stage.
$39.
Yes,
40.
and although everything looks pretty straightforward for Jimmy, of course that pressure starts to build up the nearer you get to the winning line. I think we'll see Jimmy pot the pink and screw into those two reds to the right of the pink. I'm sure his heart was in his mouth there.
46. $47.
Well, that's a bad shot from Jimmy. Although he's having the white clean, whether he got a kick or not, I don't know, but he certainly wanted to be straight on this pink. Now the white will be running away from the reds.
Well, it's not Jimmy's way to play defensively or negatively, but I really think he shouldn't be going for too big a shot this time.
Blue ball.
Well, he did, and what a wonderful shot it was.
Yes, and surely that has clinched this frame and match.
52.
53 points in front. So just red, colour red,
53.
to leave Ken needing snookers. And what a great blue to put him in that position.
$59.
Yes, the crowd willing Jimmy on, but he's done enough now. They can just sit back
67.
and relish what's happening while Ken Doherty
68.
sits in the background. His 1994 World Championship is finished, but he's put up some very, very good performances. And he's beaten by a player who I believe is playing well enough nearly to win it.
Yes, I think that's the important thing, Ray. I don't think Ken's lost the game. I think Jimmy has won it. There's a
76.
big difference.
As good a break as Jimmy's likely to make. Fans has enough, and the crowd erupt. Jimmy's fans all over the country will be pleased. Jimmy White finally goes through to the semi-final, 13 frames to 10.
You have to say, well,